this video is all about the big mistakes I've made in darts. Now, I haven't been in darts a long time, just over 2 years now. I've been doing the 10,000 hours experiment, which in a nutshell is my journey going from a bang average player who's never really picked up a dart in a big way and trying to get to the top level. Now, I'm going to say it on here because I'm at a low point in the 10,000 hours experiment, so it's worth me putting out my dreams and goals out there. So my goal is to be, by 10,000 hours of darts, is to be world #1. Now, people may think that's ridiculous, they may think it's unachievable. It may well be, but I believe it's possible with the right practice. I also believe with the right motivation it's possible, but I could be totally wrong, and everyone could be laughing at me for it. But I'm okay with that because I'm going to document so people can know exactly what's gone on along the way and where you can get to. I've already proved that you can get to hitting an 80 average, a 75 average within less than a year. Hitting that week in, week out is a big different story. But I'm at the level now where I'm just under 1,300 hours into the 10,000 hours experiment, and I have got to a point where I've got a bit comfortable. This is the big mistake I've made. Obviously, I never used to play at a competitive level. I've got more and more competitive as I've gone on, and at a higher level. I'm at the level where I'm kind of county standard now. I've beat a lot of county A players and stuff like that, but I got a bit comfortable with that. So unfortunately for me, my practice kind of has gone a little bit slower. I'm still doing stuff, I'm just not doing it with the same amount of desire, the same amount of intensity, and the same amount of hours that I was doing, say, 6 months ago. I've had injuries and a lot of little issues with my health this year that's put me sort of on the back foot a little bit. But the big thing is the motivation is when you get to a certain point, you think, oh, this is great, I'm going well, I'm beating people, I'm starting to become someone who people don't want to be drawn against, on a low level, and I've got comfortable with that. So this video is to wake myself up and let all you guys know as well that I appreciate all the support I've got to date, but I'm not going to let anyone down. I'm going to keep pushing on, and I'm going to see what we can do. So really, that mistake that I've made is taking my foot off the gas is what I see a lot when people get to a certain point, they improve, and then they get comfortable with it. I've seen it myself, and I've now done it myself. It's very easy when you start beating a few people, think, yeah, I'm better than I thought I was, I'm getting progress. With the success, it's easy to just take your foot off the gas, revel in that success, even though it's on a low level. That's what I did. So I want to chuck that out the window, start from square one again, and I've done these videos, these little clips, to see what my 180 looks like now, my throw, what exactly that looks like now, sort of in slow motion, so you can see, if you look back on earlier videos, where it's got to and the things I've changed. But yeah, if you can see from my throw how it's changed over the last 2 years, it's changed quite a lot. And if all you have to do is look back at an earlier video and see the differences of when I'm hitting a 180 in an older video to what I'm hitting a 180 like now, there's a lot more. I've said it in previous video, but the dart's holding in the air a lot more than what it did before. It used to kind of go up, and at one point I actually used to spin the darts, believe it or not. There's an earlier video, you can see the dart just flying dead straight, coming out of my hand going dead straight. But unfortunately, I realised when your dart's flying dead straight and it doesn't move in the air, what happens is you end up hitting into it every time, and you can't feel the same way. Whereas now, when I throw it, as soon as it's left my hand, I know where it's going. And also velocity is a big thing. I know I've talked about that before, but the speed at which you throw the dart, but it's a rhythm. You watch all the top pros, there's a big rhythm in their throw that you only get when you've been playing obviously a long time. You know, I'm going to do some more videos coming up with, you know, really technique-based stuff. I've done a lot of drills and things like that, but really just technique-based stuff that I think as you're developing and certain stages you get to, certain things you kind of have to have in your throw. I'll do that in a later video. Comment if you'd be interested in that. If not, I'll just keep doing what I feel comes up, really. I'm going to be doing the challenge tour as well. Probably the last event I'm going to do for a good while. And it's kind of a big announcement for me. I'm very, very likely at this stage going to focus on the WDF next year. The reason being for that, I've done a previous video saying that the challenge tour is tough. At the level I'm at, I want to be, by the end of this year, hitting regularly between 80 and 90 most matches. I do go up and down, but I'm around between 80 and, you know, the low 80s at the moment, whereas I want to be the high 80s, low 90s regularly. So I'm not quite there yet, but I'm hoping if I really graft towards the end of this year, I can get there. But even that, what I don't want to do is go to the challenge tour and just get pummeled and not get a good run in the tournament. I need to get used to having a deep run into a tournament, because I'm not really used to it. I've only played local tournaments and I've won a couple of little local things, and I'm getting to latter stages, but I need it in a bigger way. So for me, the WDF this coming year would be great, 2023, for me to just be able to just hone my craft, a couple of events over a weekend, and really just what I really want to try and do is qualify for the WDF World Championship. You know, and people can say, oh, you know, it's not as good as, of course it's not, but I'm not at the point where I think that I'm good enough to be on the PDC yet. You know I'm not at that stage yet. I'd love to be there, but unfortunately I have to be patient. But it's developing, it's getting there. But the big thing is for me, developing my skills, practicing hard again, and yeah, it's a little bit of an update on the 10,000 hours experiment, but it's also something that I want to impart to other people. If you're starting out, or maybe you've been playing a long time and you're just in a bit of a rut, you've got to really go back to basics, find your reason why you started doing it and where you want to get to, set your goal. You know, where I want to get to is a decent average by the end of the year. I want to be hitting 85 pluses regularly, and I want a good run into the WDF next year. I'm not going to be unrealistic and say, oh, I'm going to get on tour card next year, because I'm not there yet. The following year, we'll see where we're at, but I know where I'm at right now. I'm on track to where I want to be, and I've just really got to bang in them hours. You know, one really key thing I've noticed over the recent period is what's happened to my game is I can still hit ton plus checkouts, I can still have good legs. What I haven't got in there is the inner confidence. When you're going down the board and you know you've done a lot of practice and you know you're going to play pretty well, you know exactly how you're kind of going to play, and especially around doubles is a big confidence thing. But the other thing is when it's like your muscles need waking up quicker. They need to be woken up. When you don't practice all the time, if I practice, say, you know, 3 hours, then nothing, then 3 hours, then nothing, then 4 hours, on and off. If I'd done that 10 hours in a week, and then I played on a tournament the weekend, I know I'm going to hit 85, you know, up to 90 sort of averages, and might even dip in and out of it. If I don't practice, what happens now is, and I had this the other day, I literally went almost 80% checkout, and then the following match I was at a 20% checkout, and it was just a bit woeful, to be honest. It was just all over the place. So the consistency goes, because for me, the muscle memory, it's like you're waking it back up. You know, that feeling of hitting 180s is just, you don't even think about it. When you haven't hit one I had 1 week where I think I only hit 2 180s. And bear in mind, I play a lot more than the average person probably does. Hit 2 180s, I was like, why am I not hitting any? But it's because I was sort of overthinking, and I was just tightening up my grip a little bit. So for me, that's a big thing. You have to do the practice, or you can't beat yourself up about it. If I don't, I know what I'm going to get. But for me, it's all about getting motivated again, and just refocusing on my goals. You know, why do I want to get there? I've always wanted to be a pro sportsman, and I know I can do what I want to do with the right practice and the right time. But at the moment, I fell off the wagon a little bit, and I need to give myself a slap around the ear and get back on with it. So I hope this video maybe makes you think a little bit, and you think, yeah, I want to get back to that practice board. And if you find practice boring, do say that you find fun with practice board. You know, this is one thing people say, oh, I hate practicing. But at the end of the day, if you want to be good at something or better at something than you are, you have to put the time and effort in. You know, I see so many people, oh, I was great, you know, 30 years ago, but actually, sometimes that's okay. But if you want to be good and you're playing, you can't go to a local event and think you're going to win it and play like yesteryear, because you're not putting the time in. You know, when you was great 30 years ago or 10 years ago, or even 10 weeks ago, you know, you was probably putting the time and effort in to get that to that level. So just a food for thought. And I hope you joined the 10,000 hour experiment on the YouTube channel. I wanted to thank you all a lot for pushing me on and always keeping me on my toes. So thanks a lot, and catch you all soon.